Hello, 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 and welcome to
name.
yet another Q&A Thursday here at the Rag Company podcast YouTube channel. I'm your host, Dane Hennon. I would normally have some other folks here in the studio with me, but it's a bit of a light week. But I won't call it lightweight week because I've got Jamie the Cleaner here.
That's
Not
right.
quite in the studio. He's in his
Dane.
own studio. Welcome, Jamie.
Dane, glad to be here with one of my favorite companies, TRC. I'm glad to see you styling and profiling over there in the brand new revamped studio, man. It's looking good over there. How's it feeling?
You know what? It feels as good as it looks. It's really a beautiful setup. I'm so excited. I'm biased because it was my idea, but that's not to say I did all the work. I had a lot of help, thankfully, from folks like Nick, Glenn. My dad even helped me put up wallpaper here on the walls. Like, there was a whole lot going on in here, and I was just so excited to finally have it ready to go. But it wouldn't be possible without the team effort.
I'm glad to see you brought in some vibes from the Dane's backyard with the tree back there. You know, it's feeling real homey.
They made fun of how many plants I started getting, and maybe it just makes me feel at home to see so much foliage around, but I think it does the trick. So I know it's not for everybody. Some pop of color,
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to be here, Dane. I'm kind of on the hot sauce world tour. I got some hot sauce back here. If things get a little spicy, you know, I might have to drink one or two. Got some little weenies just in case. And if you want to know why I got the hot sauce, because I lost a challenge to a rival podcast, which is the Keep It Real podcast with Eddie Cologne.
Ooh.
So we're going to do a Hot Ones episode where me and Dewar have to get in the hot seat, Dane. We got to eat some spicy wings. So it's coming soon. Stay tuned to our podcast channels for all that good stuff.
All right. Well, now I know. Thanks for the update.
Now you know, Dane. I got to catch you up, Dane.
I gotta watch that, truly. Like, that is a fun show to watch. Anybody who doesn't know what Hot Ones is, it's like one of the best interview shows there is. So, yeah, really enjoyed that.
It is. But, we're going to try and do it justice.
Well, I definitely want to see how that turns out. But in the meantime, we have our own questions and answers to do today. That's why I brought you in here. You're going to help me out. You're going to be my, Levi Anthony hybrid today. You're going to be the one taking on, frankly, the tougher questions that people who spend, boots on the ground, they're in the mud, they're in the trenches, they're doing the work. I want to hear what your opinions are on these things because I know you are a wealth of experience and information as well. And I don't want to sell you short there. You know your stuff, and well, frankly, you're just a great guy. So I was happy to have you here.
Thanks to the great TRC programming that's been on y'all's YouTube channel over the years. Y'all have educated me. I've absorbed a lot of TRC knowledge from Levi and Anthony. So I think I can fit the bill these days to hop in a Q&A and answer some good questions.
Course.
So
well, and not to sell myself short. Like, I can talk microfiber all day long with these folks, but when it comes to some of the detailing things, if you get kind of deep in it, I'm definitely going to be leaning on you for that. So, folks in the audience, you know what's up. You can direct your questions to Jamie for that stuff. All right, so I've got a bunch of questions here. I'm going to go ahead and just start popping them up, if that's all right by you. Starting with Umberto.
Already.
Always popping in. Got to say hello. And then he says hello to everybody else in the room. That's like his move. Yeah, is make sure everybody else gets a hello as well. And it really adds those comments.
Yep.
Now, I'm a bit thrown by this one. I got Adrian Ferreira here saying he was paid to be here.
In the comments.
So I didn't pay him. Who paid him?
Look, Adrian's troll game is strong.
Okay. Got it. Well, we'll see where that ends up.
Listen.
Yeah, so I've got Mario Perez here. Hey, headed to work, so I'm going to watch this later. I have a question, though. RRW, that's KCX RRW, for those who don't know.
Yep.
Can I use it as a clay lube, like Absolute, because it is a rinseless wash?
Yep. So shout out to RRW. Actually, I wish the Canadian cohort was joining us this episode, but he took a little trip. He's going worldwide on the World Canadian Tour. So he took a trip to Coach Kimmy's HQ this week, and then he went over to G-Technics. But he's been hanging out with the Coach Kimmy team pretty much all week, having a good time over there in Atlanta. And RRW, great rinseless wash, got a lot of lubrication. I'll still like Absolute as the superior clay lube, but RRW can definitely get the job done if that's the rinseless wash you picked out for sure.
Fair.
We're getting
And
with it,
yeah,
Dane.
no, I've heard lots of people say great things about their experiences with RRW. It's a newer product,
Hmm.
but the reviews have definitely come back super positive.
Oh, it's amazing. It's a good. Like one of the best cleaning rinselesses there is. Like it cleans I use it in my pad washer, so it
Oh,
cleans the
okay.
crap out of your polishing pads with that little pad washer from Lake Country.
That's a good pro tip.
Fantastic combo.
Excellent. Well,
And it
next
smells like
up,
iced tea, and I love some iced tea, Dane. So anytime I can get some, some southern vibes in there, it smells good.
all right, we
I
got
like
the
it a
iced
lot.
tea, you get the sweet tea. I like that.
Yep, yep,
Dan
yep.
Pfeiffer here. It would not be a Q&A Thursday without Dan Pfeiffer.
That's
So
right. You gotta have
he's
Dan Pfeiffer.
saying, good afternoon and word up from sunny Minnesota, USA. Happy Friday Eve, TRC gang. I hope Anthony is doing better. Dan, I have some unfortunate news. Anthony is not doing better. In fact, he's doing worse.
Oh no.
So
What's the Fisher update? What's the
things
full
are
update,
rough.
Dane? Where are we at?
God,
Do you need
man.
to do some yoga or something?
Every
Like what's happening?
every week it's something new with just his back is throwing fits. Basically, as I heard it earlier this week from him on the phone, he essentially was at the point where it had gone from sciatic pain and just him having to lay down all the time. Like he was still in the last couple of weeks, he was still coming into the studio here to work, but he was doing most of his work on his phone. He was sitting on the couch up front because he really couldn't do a lot more. Now this week he's telling me he can't even like lay down without pain.
There's nothing worse than back
he's
pain.
stuck between a rock and a hard place as far as that goes. As far as solutions go, I know a lot of people say, oh, surgery, and other people are extremely wary of surgery. So he's been cautiously looking at options, but frankly, nothing's a good time when it's back pain. I mean, anybody who details can tell you that. You got to bend over to work on wheels, stuff like that. It's going to catch up with you sooner or later. So
I've dealt with my fair share of back pain. Learn a couple of them, people gonna roll their eyes. Learn a couple of them yoga stretches that stretch out the back.
For real.
I'm telling you, it definitely works. You open up those the sections of your spine, you get them decompressed, and it'll do some wonders. Now he sounds like he's a far worse case, so he's gonna need a lot of stretching. But
yeah,
that's back pain.
His physical therapy apparently screwed him up worse. So he somehow did that. But I will say, like, as a preventative measure, you're absolutely right. Just stretching on the regular, it can do so much to help because it's putting less tension on, those different parts of your body. If you're regularly doing it, your body's used to the concept of, oh, that's going to move today, as opposed to, well, this thing hasn't moved. It's got the old cobwebs on it. It's, rusty, crusty, whatever. And then you go to make some kind of crazy, lean or some kind of lunge or something, whatever. And it just snaps. And the worst
I was leaning down to finish dress. I was done with the detail, Dane. I was reaching down, shining that last tire, and I've noticed a spot on the underside of, I think, the side steps. So I reached under there, and back just went crack, and I was down for a day or two there. So it happens fast.
No, that's just it. It'll sneak up on you when you least expect it. It gets you, and it's almost always lower back pain. However, like sciatic stuff can get really crazy with the nerve endings and stuff, and that's like what's going on for Anthony. So he's in a tough spot. So anybody who wants to leave nice comments to him, feel free to reach out to him on his social media. Send him some well wishes because the poor guy, if you know him like I know him, he gets super restless. He can't stand just sitting in a place and not moving or doing something. So this is about the worst thing that could possibly happen to him.
Oh, yeah.
And he can't drive his cars or ride his motorcycle, so he's also extremely sad about that. But anyway, moving along here, hope Anthony is doing well. We've got... Oh, well, would you look at that? He actually popped up in the comments. I'll get to him in a moment.
All right.
We got Ryan Mulhern here saying, I feel I can't go anywhere on YouTube without seeing Jamie the Cleaner. The man is
We're
everywhere,
baby.
Jamie, you're one of the first people I look to if I got to pull in a guest from somewhere, and it's not like I'm doing interviews and I'm trying to get obscure people or new people or something like that. If it's somebody that I can just roll with, somebody I want to co-host with, it's going to be you. It's going to be Alex. You guys are like my go-tos. I love working with you guys. So that's what you're doing.
We jail with TRC. So yep.
No, it's
a good vibe.
And on that note, I do have All Day Anthony popping in. He can at least write a comment now. Anthony will swear that he and All Day Anthony are two different people, but, if you know, you know. Moving along here, Brian. I've got Brian here. I drove past someone cleaning their bodywork with a floor mop. Jamie,
that's always good to see.
I'm curious, what's the worst thing you've just witnessed in your just day-to-day travels? You've seen other people washing cars in their driveway, that kind of thing. What's the most egregious offense you've ever seen committed?
Well, of course, you drive by the car wash and you see, the big green brush soaking in the dirty water all day. They taking it to town to the front bumpers of the, whatever car they got. I think I saw a Corvette one day and I really had a good laugh at that one. But to me, man, I saw this I think it was like a Ryobi power brush. I think you're supposed to use it on concrete, but they got a commercial and they just take that thing to the side of a vehicle and I'm like, what is happening here? That thing.
Is that the brush that's like it's like a pressure washer with a brush attached?
I don't know what it is, Dane, but it's got a rotating head and it's got a brush.
Right, it spins.
Yeah,
it looks like a loofah brush you'd use in the shower, but it like shoots water and it spins. It looks questionable.
Like it looks like it'd be pretty good, in a truck bed. But to the rest of the paint, you don't want to do that. So Ryobi's got some sus marketing over there.
I see.
In the detail space, I'd say.
They're adventuring out. They're trying to innovate, do something interesting.
Yeah.
Innovation doesn't always mean better, I will say. You can innovate and make terrible things.
Yeah.
We've got Tamra here. Welcome, Tamra. Saying hello, everyone.
Hello.
And then I've got... Boom. Sorry, I'm getting used to this new setup with the iPad here. I got Aaron Top 10 Bauer here saying, RRW is one expensive clay lube. Just stick to a gallon of Absolute or O&R for cost efficiency. Now, I can see the logic there. RRW, as you said, though, is a fantastic cleaning rinseless wash. So if you're looking for more of like a dedicated, that's what I'm going to use this rinseless wash for, I'm not trying to be as versatile with it. I just want it to do the best job possible. RRW sounds like it's going to fit the ticket for you. Whereas Absolute, Classic O&R, ones like that, you can do... a whole lot of different things with them. You don't have to worry about protection getting in the way. Any notes to add on that?
Their price is pretty similar. You're going to save a couple bucks, on Absolute and O&R. But, ROW leans more on the surfactant, so it's going to do it just has better cleaning abilities, in my opinion. And, use Absolute slick as snot. Still one of the slickest rinseless washes out there. And you can do O&R for old time's sakes if you want to. It still smells good.
Of course. And you may have noticed last week, Levi and I kind of went on like a rinseless tangent. And one thing I've been doing...
Oh, you did? No, I missed it. I missed last week.
It was good. It was a bit of a kind of come to Jesus kind of moment kind of thing for some folks. But it's tough because on one hand, you have people who are already won over on rinseless. They understand like how it fits into the hierarchy, into the workspace of, it doesn't matter if you're a professional enthusiast, there's a place where rinseless would fit in your regimen, because if you're just doing casual maintenance cleaning on your car, perfect ticket, one less step, less mess, a lot of appeal there. And you're using less water if that's something that you run into issues with in your area. But going beyond that, then I see the folks who think that rinseless is somehow more dangerous for their car than regular soap. And like on a 1-to-1 scale, the rinseless is going to be safer because it's designed with that cushion in mind, all that, the science behind it, like the actual contact with the car. You're not seeing all the frothy bubbles, but the fact of the matter is the actual stuff happening that you can't see is where the actual safety is occurring. Like, it's protecting the vehicle's surface from that contact that you're so worried about, unless of course you're gouging it with your hand or fingertips or whatever, and that could still happen. But you have to try in order to make that happen. So there's a lot of scare tactics I see, and basically Levi and I were just trying to kind of counteract some of that misinfo that we see from time to time. But apart from that, there's also the folks who they don't understand it at all, and they think that it's like snake oil. And it's tough because in this day and age, everything seems like it's a hype product. And I know we get accused of hype. Everybody gets accused of hype. If you say one nice thing about something, people are like, oh, hype. It's just like their sensors are off the charts, and they're immediately... And in one way, it cracks me up because that's essentially a marketing tactic for people who make it their entire business of like calling out hype or like calling out, oh, this is just being spicy in general can definitely lead to, oh yeah, I can get people on my side just by being the one who calls out everything. But eventually you run out of things to call out because it's all noise at that point. But there's a genuine case to be made for rinseless washes, I think. And that's all I was really getting at with that is they are real science.
Yeah,
they have a purpose.
No, they're more science based than soap. Soap is soap. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It emulsifies dirt. You rinse it off. You wash with it. It's lubricious. Rinseless wash. You got to wrap your head around it. It took me a couple years to understand O&R when Levi and Ivan were out there. Showing you how to remove bugs and stuff with just O&R. It was like mind-blowing. So it definitely takes a couple years to fully wrap your head around, especially for someone like me. But yeah, they're based on science. They have that cushion. They're perfectly. I'm about to just start doing what I call hybrid washes, where I take like a high pH soap, foam it down, and I rinse it off, and then I pull it in, and then I do the contact wash with a rinseless wash, and that'll blow people's minds too, and gets them all fired up when you tell them that you're going to rinse first and then rinseless wash. I think that gets them going.
They get mad because of the terminology. They always thought, well, clearly, an idea that was implanted in their head by who knows what. Maybe there was a video way back when that said rinseless means you don't rinse first, but that's never how we were taught it. It would just meant you didn't have to rinse afterwards. It meant the product could be wiped up when you're drying. That's all it meant to us. And it makes perfect sense. And even when we were first introducing people to rinseless, it was not new then. It had been around for a few years, even at that point. And now at this late date, there are still people, when we talk about it, who think it's like witchcraft and it's this newfangled magic, whatever. And it's like, no, it's been around for a little while now. And, the people are comfortable with it.
Yeah, I think with detailing, I think we're in a kind of a detail boom where, Walmart's starting to get polishers, pads. It's really like you're just starting to see higher quality stuff pop up in like, big box stores. So rinseless is just getting to the point where the masses are now seeing these rinseless videos and these rinseless products. So now they're trying to wrap their head around it, and it looks a little fishy at first. So I can't blame them.
Yeah.
And I keep putting out the education, putting out the high quality content, and eventually maybe we'll see a rinseless, enter the Walmart shelf. You never know.
I mean, you never know. So let's see. Next, oh, wait a second. We got Luke Berge here. Luke, with a super chat. I got to clap for that. Little applause. Yeah.
That's right. So, big old clap. There we go.
Big old clap. I can't really clap with an iPad in my hands. But let's get this show on the roads. He throws an S in there for some reason. Let's hear from the Swamp Man himself. Well, you've been hearing from the Swamp Man. I got the swamp creature right here.
That's right.
It's not an insult. That's what he likes.
Kind of podcast. That's right.
All right. So then next up here, I've got Tamra. Tamra saying, I want to shout out to Levi for extending the sale. I almost missed out, but I got my order into TRC. Thanks. See, that's where those emails come in handy. It's a little, hey, just in case you forgot. And last second follow-up. It's great. Then we've got Aaron here. Aaron saying, how many references to Jamie's Hot Ones challenge this apparently it's been going around.
That's right.
Don't worry, we'll touch on it again.
Tour, Dane.
When we come back after the break, make sure you bring it up again so we can catch people who are new.
Yep, you know it.
Then I got Hans here. Hello, and welcome this Friday Eve. Today we'll be doing some very secret arts and crafts. Hans, that sounds suspicious. What are you up to over there?
There ain't no telling what Hans could be up to.
He's in the Netherlands. They get up to all kinds of interesting, schemy things there. Let's see. Aaron, Top 10 Bauer, if you had to choose your go-to drink for the Hot Ones challenge, would it be Target water, swamp water, milk, or Pepsi?
Target water's pretty good. It's usually on the distilled variety, so you really don't want to drink too much distilled water, Dane. That's for mixing chemicals.
No, that's not good.
It don't have the minerals.
Not for humans.
Yeah, no, not good. Swamp water is just downright. Look, I drank swamp water all growing up, swimming out there in the swamp, and it's not great either. It's got some stuff floating around.
You might get some really cool brain eating worm bacteria, something terrifying like possible.
It's
swamp
definitely
water
possible, Dane.
brings all kinds. So,
So milk or Pepsi, definitely the top two here. Milk,
yeah.
has that it has the something where it wraps up, the whatever molecule the heat is, and so I'm gonna go with milk.
Well, yeah, like
final answer, Dane.
true like lactose, like actual milk, not some like knockoff alternative type thing like oat or almond, which are fine, but they
Yeah.
won't necessarily help you when you're dealing with like hot wings or spicy
No,
stuff.
you need that
Milk is the
enzyme, and
move.
specifically in that milk, yeah. In that
Whereas
cow milk.
Pepsi, the carbonation, when you're already burning, it's like just like a machine gun blast to the tongue. You don't need that. Like the carbonation just hurts at that point. It's just
Yeah,
like
the
little
Pepsi's
tinglings.
already spicy. We don't need to make things spicy.
Make it spicier. All right.
Yeah.
We got David Cervantes here saying,
David
"What's up,
Cervantes.
guys? Welcome, David. Happy to have you here." And whoop, here comes Riggs. And he's saying, "Afternoon,
Gary
everyone.
Riggs.
Excited to get
What's
this
going on?
rolling. Happy to have you here, my
Excited to see
friend."
Gary in the comments.
And of course, I've got David Boyce saying, "Afternoon, good people of the earth. Welcome, David." And Gary,
Love seeing
Gary
you.
just saying, "Jamie's the man." All right.
Gary's the man. Shout
Oh.
right back to you, sir.
And here's another man. We got EC Details saying afternoon. And saying
I have
hello
a
right
feeling
there.
he's
Welcome.
gonna lay down a challenge. Every podcast eat another one. Eat a hot sauce. Eat a hot sauce.
He can't leave well enough alone. He's got to like beat you.
Yeah,
up
no.
even more.
He wants me to to really suffer on every podcast.
Oh, that's rough. Okay, well, let's see. We need Dane's Christmas tree in the studio. I'm sorry, that's one plant that I forbade from
That'd be
being
pretty
in here.
good.
I stopped
You
that
still
from
have
happening.
the classic Christmas tree.
It's
You still
around
have
here
it.
somewhere. It's like in storage or something. It's in the walls, you know. Then I got Carson Black here, wonderful local Carson. Welcome, hey guys.
Let's go.
And let's see, guys, we need some detailing questions. I appreciate the haze, but we got to get to
Let's
these
get
questions.
some hot questions.
Yeah.
It's warming up. It's summertime. Got to be some hot questions coming in.
EC with the shout out to debit card that saved his cheeks.
Yeah.
All right. No
What that
recognition
means,
for
Dane, is
Joey
he
Belinsky.
he cheated.
Brutal.
He
Oh,
cheated.
Ryan's giving you a hard time for
Hey,
not
shout out
shouting
to
out
Joey.
Joey. All right.
Hey, he's
well,
all right.
all right. Let's keep it moving here. Let's get to some questions. We've got page 3. A bunch of Jamie's still upset about losing the challenge. Oh boy.
Correct.
Okay, now I got Gerardo. Gerardo here has a real question. So,
There we
hello,
go.
everyone. Question: when providing mobile services in an open parking space, which coating is most suitable for installation in direct sunlight?
It's a good question.
I
Let's see
mean,
here.
you've worked outside doing coating stuff before, so I imagine.
Oh yeah,
you've
I
got
have to
some
coat
opinions.
trucks in the outside all the time.
Do you ever use cover like
And,
your garage or like a tent, or is it pretty much just exposed?
Well,
and
if
that's
it could
that?
pull into the garage, I would rather pull it into the garage. I do have a pop-up tent that I'll pull out for the summertime. Trying to pop up the TRC coating, see what we got going on here. You know what's pretty good in a outside environment is Legend, PNS Legend.
Yeah.
It has a specific wipe off. It kind of takes a longer time to dwell and get ready to wipe off, but
Yeah.
I like applying it during the summer because it's like instant. Put it on and then it's slick pretty much immediately, and you can wipe it off pretty much immediately. And
Legend's got that really
it's
high
pretty good in
solids
direct sunlight.
content, so
Yeah.
it's got a lot of solids going into it. It's just it's I would say of the like consumer available coatings, it's definitely one of the ones that skews much closer to like a pro coating in terms
Yeah,
of
for
like
sure.
the application and stuff. Not to say it's outright difficult to apply, but just to say like you got to pay a little more attention than you do with like some of the more, entry level ones like Soul or something like that.
Yep. Soul, another good one. Soul is easy peasy, even in direct sunlight outside.
And that's a year right
environment.
there.
Yep. There you go. Check them
All
out.
right. Simple enough. Are there
Yep.
any new ones that you're trying out or anything you've given a shot lately?
Yeah,
that surprised you?
we did. If you want to talk different brand, we did the
Yeah, no,
challenge
it's
was
all
on
good.
this Ethos ceramic coating, and they
Interesting.
specifically designed this to be like the easiest ceramic coating ever to apply. So it has like a super long dwell time, that kind of deal, and yeah, it's really great.
All right. And now Luke's just calling you salty. All right. Keep it moving on. Checking in from hot and humid
There's
Atlanta.
Alex
There's
Stewart.
Alex.
Big hand to the
well,
Canadian
happy to
cohort.
have him here.
On the Canadian World Tour.
Oh, buddy. That guy.
Having
He
a good
needs
time in
to
Atlanta.
needs to get in where it's safe from the heat. All right.
Yeah, I
Now,
bet he's sweating out there for sure.
yeah, it's always a little toasty this time of year starting off. Dino.
Yeah.
Hello, boys and girls. What's up? Welcome, Dino.
What's up,
I know
Dino?
you're far away and it's much, much later where you are, but we always appreciate you tuning in anyway.
Absolutely.
And then
It's amazing the international crowd y'all have developed.
Yeah, no, TRC really does
cool.
seem to have an excellent worldwide community. We bring in folks from
Yep.
all. If you can speak English, it certainly helps. Even if it's broken English or whatever, that's totally fine. If you can, put together a question, we'll do our best to answer them as clearly as possible. I apologize. I can mostly only speak English and like a little bit of some other languages, but hey, if you can get it out here, we're all happy to help. That's just
That's
what we're
right,
about.
Dane. I can't even speak English, but I'm here doing a podcast, so
Hey,
it's just a question.
you got a fun accent that like earns you 10 credibility like immediately.
Appreciate it.
Let's see. Next up, David Boyce. Jamie, why is that complaint about Rinseless leaving protection behind when it's a nonsense? Unless there's Rinseless with SiO2, then that's different. Your thoughts?
100% agree with David Boyce's comments here. It's been, there was a whole subdivision of, a more hardcore group that
People parse words so
Yeah.
crazy. They think that when somebody says, like Ivan
About the
used to
polymers
say,
and stuff.
leaves nothing behind but a clean surface. And people are like,
Yep.
does that mean other stuff leaves stuff behind? And they instantly go into like investigator mode and make, well, frankly, a mountain out of a molehill. Like the whole point of like blue O&R and stuff like that was that you can use it for all sorts of things, and there's no amount of protection or anything that it's leaving behind that's going to get in the way of your ability to do those other things. And that is the only reason anybody should care about the whole concept of leaving anything behind. End of.
Yep.
Like literally,
Yeah, it got
all
real-
the arguments after that are pointless.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it got real muggy when Ivan started, saying that it would leave polymers that would make cleaning easier the next time you rinse and wash.
Sure,
That's
like
where
it
I
gave
think
it like a
really got
memory.
confusing. Yeah,
Is how they would kind of refer to it. And you know what? That's fine as long as it doesn't make your ability to apply like a sealant or a wax or a coating afterwards a problem. Like if it doesn't get in the way of that and it doesn't impact that, especially if you go with like a prep product afterwards, like you go in with like some kind of IPA or you go in with whatever the specific like coating prep you're going to use is, you're fine. There is nothing to worry about. But I swear sometimes people just make it a sport to get upset about something there's nothing there.
Oh, absolutely.
Nothing
even
consequential.
the SiO2 rinseless washes, even they're not going to leave like a lasting protection. You know what I mean? Like maybe a month at most.
It all eventually goes away. Eventually.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but I absolutely agree with that comment. Yeah, it's always been nonsense. I don't know what the big deal is, but people are real picky, so.
Yeah. I can't wait to see the comments.
Those people flip to the pure surfactant rinselesses, and we know how those go.
Oh, yeah. Got Luke here. I'll leave it at that. Luke saying, doer out here living my dream, besides the hot and humid part. All right, well.
Oh, yeah, he's sweating it out there.
Oh, boy. Man, where did I go? I've got... Oh, that's the top of that page. Sorry, this is still the dumbest thing. You guys remember using my iPad for all of your stuff out there? It's backwards.
The
whole thing is
all the
backwards.
iPad duties.
So he knows. He knows. It's all in reverse. Shout out to Coach Jimmy with Traveling Crew. All right. Oh,
Shout out to Coach Jimmy out there. He got it going on.
Yeah. Coach Kimmy, too. Dave Detail. Good evening. What's your guys' go-to glass cleaner and towel combo? And does it differ depending on summer/winter temperatures? Thanks. I'm going to leave it to you on this one. It actually does.
Yeah, so I was using a lot of the Coach Kimmy glass cleaner all winter. It's great. It's really slick. Has a bunch of lubrication in it, so it's really nice. I like for that towel to be real smooth, especially on the front windshield, because sometimes you slip off, touch the glass, you're like, now I got to clean it again. But I use that all winter, but now coming into the hot and humid summer months, it is the slipperiness of it, I guess, leaves behind. It fogs up a little bit, so I had to switch to a more, alcohol-based, stronger glass cleaner, invisible glass, that kind of deal, to not get that kind of fogging effect from that. That's kind of, that's how it is. And towel combo, Dane, what's a good towel y'all got over there for some glass? I love the FTWs.
Probably my
its original
favorite
intention
towel
was glass.
ever. The FTW is my favorite towel ever. Like that is a towel I would hand to somebody if they said, "Please give me a towel that I could do almost anything with and not screw up." That towel is the answer.
Yep, I
Not
have
the cheapest
orange,
towel, but
pink,
it is such a great towel.
Blue. Yep, and the blue FTWs are designated for a glass cleaner. I don't let them touch anything else. And then the pink and the orange are for like sealants and stuff. Yeah. And you know what I used to love that y'all have and you took away, you don't have anymore, and I'm going to keep complaining about it till you bring it back. The glass smitten was amazing. Now, such a good towel. Bring them back.
Don't worry. They have gone away. They lay dormant for now, but they will be back. They will return. I don't have a timeline, unfortunately, but they are definitely part of the thought process. So they have been, trialed and thought about and all those things. And as far as I know, it may be a little low on the priority poll because there's some other stuff we're always working on.
We got to bump it up, Dane. Look, comments, take it away. Glass Smitten,
not forgotten.
Bring them back. Let's get it going.
All right.
Get the hype going. Put some pressure on them.
Because I love those things, and that was one case where, and this happens to us a lot, where we'll kind of do something that's like a little more novel, and people don't quite know what to do with it. Like, sure, it may solve like a specific issue, but we've had a few products like that, and you try, but it doesn't get adopted right away. And that's microfiber products. That's even chemical lines we've had in the past, where by the time people figured out that it was as good as we were saying it was gone. So that kind of stuff can happen, but that's just life. So we really do our best to not cry wolf, and if we say something's good, we gotta put our name behind it. So we're really trying to make sure it's something we actually believe in. But no, the Smittens were definitely that. They just were not a hot seller. But they were good. They were very good at what they did. There's no reason that they had to go away outside of just being slow and making room for something else that could, frankly, move a little bit more. But they'll be back. Don't worry.
Good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. No, I got you. We got you. Next up, Brian here. Any spray product better than Geon Wet Coat for my wheels? What's going on there, Jamie? What kind of wheel treatments have you been doing lately?
Wheel treatments, so G-Technic's got their Easy Coat. It's pretty good, but what I've really been digging is DIY Details Quick Beads. Real good one.
Quick
so go
beads,
check it out.
And that's the one you would
go
to
that's the one I've most
wheels.
Consistently been using. Yep, I only use it for wheels. I never use it on the paint. Yep. Okay.
Well, and so is it decent with high temps then and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it does pretty good. It holds up. And when a maintenance comes back in, it definitely has some quick beads left. You usually knock the rest of it off, with cleaning it with your high pH wheel cleaner and that kind of deal. And if locally, check out the Griots 3-in-1 at your AutoZone or whatever. Yeah, it's a spray and rinse as well. That's why it's called 3-in-1. Yeah, and I've been pretty surprised at how effective that product is.
Okay, and what are your normal maintenance intervals with those?
About 3 months, about quarterly. Try and get clients back in about every 3 months or so. Keep them all maintained.
Yeah,
good, crispy.
I just wanted to ask because I figured people would be curious since you are actually working on clients' cars.
I have some that's every 3 months quarterly, and then I have some that's yearly. They'll come in a year. And I just had an update on my channel actually where we did a yearly update on the first time I'd washed it since applying Diamond Body 36, and it took some maintenance, but it bounced right back.
Yeah, effect, that has been a thing I've heard with the clogging, that kind of stuff can happen. Yep. But the fact of the matter is the coating is still working underneath there. You just you clean it and it comes back. So I think that's lost on some folks who are very quick to write stuff off. So there is that. But Mike G here with a comment that I think we can all get behind.
Mike G in the house?
Getting old sucks.
What's going on? Yep. The back goes out, the knees, everything starts hurting. Pull out the Profen, Mike G. Get the Profen.
That's all there needs to be. Let's see. Oh, wait a second. I'm jumping comments. All of a sudden, we got a bunch in. Man.
Uh-oh, comment
Holy
jumping.
cow. They did
Hopefully
like
it's a
3
bunch of glass
pages
smitten,
while I was looking up, and then all of a sudden we're here. What happened?
Hopefully
All
I
right.
get that smitten train going on.
Holy cow. I think you got them all spicy now. Is he asking, where's Anthony at? Anthony is at home with his broken back, poor guy. But he's
back
working
McGee
on it.
over there.
It's spinal. I'm send him some Montana gummies. Yeah, and Super Auto here, Al. Better late than never. I agree. Welcome,
Al's
sir.
in the
Happy to
house.
have you here.
What's going on?
Aaron Top 10 Bauer. Jamie is everywhere.
right.
Like just coupon code. Okay, that's true. You
Jamie
have
10,
been a number
everywhere.
of places.
Including your mom's house. Check it out.
Ooh. David, Jamie, have you ever repaired a tear in leather seats or fades leather bolster, or repaired a faded leather steering wheel? If that's
No,
the
I'm not
case,
that
then
smart.
what's your recommended product? I mean, Color Lock
No,
is...
but I don't do leather repair or nothing. But
Color
yeah,
Lock
Lock's
is
the way to
something
go.
that Levi would weigh in with here, but having seen the work in person that Color Lock products can do, I'll recommend them all day long. Like, they are an extremely niche product in terms of what this audience is probably looking for. Like, a lot of you guys watching are probably just interested in polishing stuff or washing stuff. You're not doing leather repairs every day. It's not necessarily something you're running into a lot of. But when that time comes, I swear, check out Color Lock. Look at their repair videos. They have many on their YouTube channel, which could be a little tricky to find. It's a German name, Later Zentrum, but you can also look Color Lock. And that's color with a OU. That's not just O. But yeah, put that in there. Look for it on YouTube, and they have some great videos that kind of help explain some of the processes and the results. Even if they're not perfect, they're so close that at a glance you'll never catch the issue again. And they hold up. Like, having seen like people who came back that had the repairs done by, Lars and those guys, they hold up. So yeah, I would highly recommend checking out Color Lock if you haven't already. And we do carry some of those products as well. But they have a huge, massive array of products if you go to their specific website for like the more in-depth stuff.
That's some real skill. You get into leather repair and stuff. Above my pay grade, Dane.
And I just should also point out, since Alex is going down there anyway, Color Lock and KCX are now attached at the hip, so that's a good point to.
They sure are.
So that's pretty.
That's pretty cool. They did that.
So I've got Bill Pearson here. Howdy, fellas, from a sunny other deep south. Good to see you, JT.
Hey,
I agree.
what's going on, Bill? Good to see you here.
Oh no, the next comment. You know who it is.
What we got?
Know who it is.
What we got, Dane? What we got, Dane?
Oh boy, here comes G. Davis.
G. Davis in the house.
Doer is also in Atlanta to audition for the role of Mammy in Gone with the Wind 2. Windy Boogaloo.
He's got this in the bag.
Oh,
right?
boy.
Viewer skills are on point.
Scott Ohms. Jamie, you got that boat all slicked up and ready? Is the Kronos still holding up from last year?
I don't think I've ever maintenanced a boat. I think I code them, and then I just never see them again. So I have no idea. I'm pretty sure it is.
Scott seems to think you have one, or you did some work on one. So I'm curious there. What?
No,
that's
I
all
do
about.
boats all the time, and I coat them with that coating he's talking about. It's marine grade, that kind of deal. So I'm sure it's holding up pretty good.
Okay. Well. And then Bill.
If it ever comes in for maintenance, I'll make a video about it for sure.
Dane, what's up with the lighting on your face? But I don't know. It's
Dane,
it's a whole
why
new
are you
lighting
so well
zone.
lit,
Everything
Dane?
is better than it used to be.
What's going on in the studio, Dane? You know, what are the big improvements over there?
I mean, it's actually pretty drastic. The nice part is you can't see me sitting with my short, sweat shorts here in the chair. It's just classy from the waist up. But basically, it's very comfy chairs arranged amongst several different plant varieties that are all fake, so we don't have to maintain them. They just look good at a glance, obviously. And then we've got these cool box lights above my head, so they're actually like a big, wide, kind of diffused light. And they're doing kind of like a tungsten color scheme right now, so a little more yellowy, a little warmer. Because usually if you go brighter than that, if you go a little more daylight, they get harsh.
Look at that. There's the short shorts. Now we're talking.
Yeah, so it's real comfy. But yeah, so anyway, we've got the whole room there to look at, and it's what you remember from before, but just reconfigured. So yeah, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. This
It
is
looks
really
good. It
this
looks
is
good.
great. So yeah, I've got the lighting behind the plants. I've got the lighting over my head, which you can't see, but it is a pretty cool arrangement. And we'll be adding more decor
Nice.
around here as we go along. So there'll actually be a lot of stuff that I think could be kind of fun, kind of wink and a nod kind of stuff that we can hang up around the room that just might show up in the background occasionally in some shots. But a lot of the shots now are going to be like more close up of us, which I think helps conveying like what's going on our faces more so than like the old where we had the wide shot and it was a wide angle lens.
Right.
So everybody's a little distorted. If you sit on the sides, you look way heavier. And I sat in the middle because I'm already heavy and I didn't need the help.
Yeah,
So
that wide angle can add some poundage.
Oh, lordy, it can. So this is doing enough on its own, trust me. But no, I love this new setup. And here in the room, I got to say, like, we did our first main show, like, recording. I'm currently editing that episode, but I did it with Dylan Von Kleist. I'm really excited to share it with everyone. I
BK.
love this new setup I've got there. It's going to be really cool, and I'm excited to kind of show what we use this space for. But it all worked
Nice.
the way I hope, so I can say that much. All right, so moving along here, Anthony Fisher. Wow, look at that, different Anthony.
He's back.
Same, but different. Anthony Fisher here. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, this back issue has been one hell of a ride, and not the good kind. I get
Never
my
good.
second injection tomorrow, so fingers crossed. That gets me some relief. Okay, well,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I think it's a cortisol, something like that injection, and it's
Yeah,
supposed
that's
to
gonna be a
help
little
him.
temporary, I think.
Yeah, but it's not forever.
Definitely get you. Look into inversion tables, Fisher. Look into
He's got an
some
inversion table now.
stretching.
He showed us. He
Okay,
said in a
nice,
group
nice.
chat over the weekend. He's
Now
like,
we're
"You're
on the
looking at
right track, Fisher.
You're looking
There
at the
we go.
owner of an inversion table, and my immediate response was, "That looks like a medieval torture device." It just looks
It
like
is,
the
it
rack.
is. All the blood rushes
Yeah.
to your head.
Yeah,
You stay on that bad boy too long, you pass out, Fisher.
yeah.
So
Might be a little rough.
don't let it get you. Yeah.
But no, we're happy to see you in the comments, Anthony. I'm just glad you're able to write comments right now. You're probably
Yeah.
hurting, but hopefully not so much that it's, debilitating. Josh Kent here. All right. Jamie, if you can see this comment, how about you read this one?
Josh, coming in. I've recently had my spin and blow tool start sticking and not spinning smooth. Is there specific maintenance I'm missing? So I like to have a nice clean bucket of usually rinseless wash nearby after a good blowout session. Stick that bad boy in there, clean it all the way out, gets all the dirt out the nooks and crannies, and then you can spray a little WD-40 kind of in the back of it. I found that keeps it going. I still have my original one, and it's still spinning. Still doing its
Good
thing.
call. Yeah, no, that definitely seems to help. So, yeah, hopefully try that, Joshua, and then report back if you have any further questions. But hopefully that gets you moving. Then we got Hans here. Get better soon, Anthony. Thank you, Hans. Very nice of you. And Anthony follows up. Also, Dane, I will never forgive you for what you did to Jamie's eyes in the thumbnail. Unforgivable.
Unforgivable.
I love doing
me a
this like
real
Mr.
good picture
Beast
there.
thing where I just like whiten the the eyes just a little bit more because frankly contrast gets people to click. Too much contrast makes you alien, but a little bit helps. So in a darker image, I was pulling from a screenshot in a video. Obviously, you know which video I was pulling it from, but it gave me a good point where you're holding some TRC products and stuff. You got it all kind of arranged and you're nice centrally located. I'm like, all right, and then I'll put some text behind your head and it'll make for a nice thumbnail. I thought that's a good way to show Jamie here in action. And, but his face is really dark in this image. Like your eyes had like a shadow over or whatever. So naturally, I had to, just a little bit. But Anthony, it bothers him to no end. He freaks out every time I do, especially to them. But I mean, I'm doing the thumbnails around here. It's my say at the end of the day, like what goes. But I try and be at least kind to the person. I'm not going to try and make you look weird on purpose. I'm trying to help, if anything. I'm not doing it to mislead. Or
no,
whatever,
you're right.
I don't
No,
want somebody to be
thumbnails
lost.
have a have changed. You got to brighten it up. You got to hit the what's that called? The dang, where it gets real sharp. The sharpness. You got to crank that bad boy up, have it real sharp, have it real colorful. And the game has changed, Dane. So you're staying up to date. I'm liking the thumbnail, so keep killing it.
Thank you. I've got a really fun one that's coming out. I'm so excited to share it with people, but it involves Anthony, and I had to change the shirt he was wearing to a different shirt, a familiar shirt, but it's pretty funny. Anyway, moving on. You guys will see that next week.
Yeah. A whole different ball game.
Well, come to think of it, talk thumbnails for a second. How's life on your end? I mean, you run a YouTube channel. What's been your experience? What are people like interested
same thing.
in? Is it? Yeah, it's the same deal. Just boost the contrast and like try and separate the person from the background in any way you can. Yeah. I mean, I see you got
an action shot of what's going on in the video. So I take an action shot, make it the background, sharpen that bad boy up, put some contrast on it, brighten it up like you did. Then I take usually maybe another action shot or the product shot, make them individually, pop out, look like they're kind of 3D-ish, sharpen them bad boys up. Like always add an arrow. You need the clickbait arrow, Dane.
Oh, yeah.
I find that's very effective.
Other channels do like the red circle around nothing. It's just like there's no point to it, but it's there. And
I hate
people curious.
I hate them
too.
Yeah. They're so annoying. I like to at least point at what's happening, in the video to some degree. And then, maybe a little clickbaity title and maybe not, sometimes just arrow or something. But yeah, I think that's been doing me pretty good.
Well, and clickbait's such a tough one because, like, people will be like, "Oh, you clickbaited me." It's like, yeah, but the thing I said does happen in the video, just not in the way that you thought. That's the most I'll do is like maybe like a little misleading, but I'm not outright lying. Like it's just kind of like, oh, the context was different than what you thought, but your brain immediately went to drama, and then it wasn't that. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to get people to watch, but the people who get upset over the thumbnail and won't watch a video exclusively because of the thumbnail, that always feels so petty to me.
Yeah.
Like, the thumbnail is not the video. The thumbnail is the result of YouTube making life very, very hard to get people to watch your stuff.
Yeah, sometimes I'm working on a thumbnail as long as it takes to, record and edit the dang video.
True.
Yep.
Anna Longfield. All right, Anna here. What are the most common used Rinseless? I mean, O&R is kind of the OG. I'm assuming she maybe common uses for Rinseless. I thought she meant what's the most common Rinseless, and I'm like, well, the original one was O&R, so that one's pretty ubiquitous everywhere. But there have been a lot in recent years that have taken a good foothold in the market. But common uses, go ahead. What are some examples of creative Rinseless uses you've tried?
Yeah, besides the wash process, glass cleaning. I love a good Rinseless as the glass cleaner. You interior detailer, you can wipe down the whole vehicle. Dip a towel in, wring it out. Damp towel, you can wipe down the whole. Especially if it's a maintenance detail, get it done in real lickety split like clay lubricant. I like it in door jams. It's it's a multi-use product. You master a Rinseless wash, you can eliminate so many chemicals pretty much.
Agreed. Yeah, and that's kind of the purpose is you would use it in a lot of the ways you might use like a quick detailer or something like that. I mean, it can replace a lot of those different kinds
waterless
of products.
Wash.
And it's it's nice to only have to mix up one product and be able to do all those things. And it's not like, even though it's a jack of all trades, it's not like it's really compromised trying to do those other things. It actually tends to work pretty well, especially as Levi will say, like as a glass cleaner, O&R was always awesome, or like doing headliners and stuff like that, because you got to be so careful with headliners, like people who go and abuse them with like way too much steam or whatever. It's like, no, just a little dab.
Oh, man. I've been seeing so many videos of people just taking steamers to the headliners, and I'm like, what is happening? Did we?
You could probably do that once or twice, and then after that, you've fried it. Like it's just going to start sagging. I don't know what's happening. All the adhesive just evaporated, and now you're left with the saggy. It's a big saggy sack hanging from your ceiling, so nobody likes that.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want the big saggy sack, happening on your roof. You don't want that.
Not a good time.
Not a good time.
On that note, speaking of saggy sacks, we got G. Davis here saying, when I think of Anthony in unmanageable pain, I think of the scent of a NOS glove box from a 1985 Honda CRX. Man, going back. Joshua Kent. Jamie, do you think Biobomb actually works, or is it just all hype? I'm at the point where I just want to ban the word hype from all detailing discussions because it's so.
The thing about biobombs, Dane, you know what biobombs is?
Yeah, no, I know biobombs. You put one on my desk after you left at Hiroshima.
I sure did. Yep. Well, that's the air freshener.
Great.
So
he's
referring to it smells great, right? They make great, probably the best air fresheners in the game.
It lasted
they
quite
also
a while
make
too.
a kit. Yeah, they make a chlorine dioxide kit that is ready to go. They call it. That's what the biobomb actually is.
Okay.
And that's like old technology. You know, they just put it into a nice package. They do form their own, chlorine dioxide tablets into, put the kit together with a little fish tank deal, and that speeds up the process. Gives you a nice little container, fit in cup holders and stuff. But no, biobombs is legit. Don't sleep on biobombs. That is everybody's always been using either ozone or use the carbon or the chlorine dioxide tablets, and that wipes out the smell. Now, your vehicle's gonna smell like a swimming pool for a couple.
I was gonna say,
couple hours.
Doesn't that just smell like chlorine at that point?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't want that.
Well, you could be like Anthony, put the ozone in, and then you hop in too soon, and you're about to pass out.
You just hopped in to drive your own personal YMCA home.
Yeah. So you don't want that either. So ozone or chlorine dioxide tablets are the way to go. You do have to air out effectively, and you can add your scent in after. And Biobombs makes their own scents that you can add back into the vehicle as well. So they are not hype at all. They are a proven science based company for sure.
Right, and like you said, it's an old technology. It's been tried and true for quite a while. So I mean, if it works.
He just fancied it up in a nice package with a little fish tank. He presses his own tablets to be specifically, certain size. Christian does a great job with Biobomb. One of my favorite companies right now for sure.
Nice. Well, yeah, and so let's see. Outside of that, I was just thinking, weren't you guys talking? I thought you saw them in like stores now, like at a few places. They were popping up in storefronts. So I guess if people were looking, they could get them locally even. But let's see. We got Pedro.
Distributors are starting to get onto them. I know Shad over at Budco picked them up recently. Uber Details got them. Yeah. People are taking notice.
Excellent. Well, Pedro here saying, Jamie, the ADS wheel cleaner sent, I catch a hint of bananas. What about you? I catch the same hint in Shampoo Plus.
I haven't used, they have a new scented wheel cleaner. Everybody's coming out with these no-smell wheel cleaners now, and they're excellent. Like, they really have figured it out. I don't know what the additional chemical is, but it is taking out the smell, and it still stinks out the bottle. If you take the top off, sniff it, it stinks. But when you aerosolize it, like, it smells like bananas, like this guy's pretty much saying. But what's this question? What are you to catch about the same? Shampoo Plus smells like berries. So this is Armor Detail Supply. Mm-hmm. The hype company of 2024.
Oh boy, more hype.
More hype.
You can't escape it.
They got really good stuff. No, you can't escape.
Can't escape. More and more of a pointless.
We love ADS though. It's good stuff.
It's okay to like things, guys. Let's see. No, that's good to hear. Well, EC Details, rinseless wash is God's juice. I mean,
that's right.
Rinseless wash is one of those things that, I mean, to hear Levi tell it, he would say, don't leave home without it, essentially. It is like the go-to.
Yeah.
I did see a comment on the last Q&A that I did. What I've been doing recently is, after I have the "We answer your detailing questions" as the title for the day of, as soon as we wrap, I look back at the questions we got and think of like the most, spicy one or something that was interesting, and I retitled the video that, because frankly, you got to do that nowadays to like get interest in this stuff.
I saw you did that,
and
that's
worked.
A good idea to go back and just change the titles.
It did work.
Of old episodes, and it'll start hitting. Yeah,
I used to be hesitant about that because I thought, it'll plug it back into the algorithm. It may not do as well. It has to like be recataloged or whatever when you change stuff, and it does. But odds are it's going to perform better if it's less vague and it's more specific. So that did seem to help.
What you should start doing is change the thumbnail too. Have a pre-thumbnail that for the regulars to know this is the Q&A, but then a post thumbnail for the after video. You've changed the thumbnail, changed the title, and get new people to come in.
Yeah, and I already make so many thumbnails. I mean, what's one more? So no, not a bad idea.
That's
at all.
right.
I've considered it. It's just I've been kind of doing step by step to see like what changes yield what results, and that was going to be something I was going to do kind of next. So I'll definitely consider doing that as well. I just want to make sure people who are regulars and understand the stuff, but maybe don't always catch it live, still know where to find it. Because I've already kind of changed the style of the thumbnails. Like every few months, I'll try something new. You kind of see me go through phases of trying stuff. But anyway, that's a little inside baseball. But I know people who are into the YouTube game understand, like, you got to do this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, to that point of
totally
changing the title, it's something that it benefits people who are looking too, who understand, going in, oh, this video is going to include a question like that. Because otherwise, if it just says vaguely, oh, we just answer questions, they don't know what sorts of questions you're answering, so they don't know if it's going to be worth their time or not. So by doing that, I'm at least getting somebody kind of more interested. Oh, it's going to be like that. And yeah, that's not misleading. That's helpful, if anything. But yeah, no, that was the big topic last week. But my point of bringing all that up was somebody commented on that one and said that I've never seen a professional detail shop use rinseless wash, only when it's on their personal cars. And I thought that was so interesting because this person was like convinced that rinseless wash is it's not worth it in a shop, but it's fine for something people use on their personal cars as if it's like a lesser, kind of thing. When in reality, a lot of the shops
if you're
that
a professional not using rinseless wash, you're throwing money away in the trash. You're literally taking money and throwing it in the trash can.
By the amount of time you're saving, if anything. I mean, when your skills are up and you're good at rinseless washing and you can be quick about it and still effective, you do. That step may not seem like much to somebody who's just like a driveway detailer and they're not going as efficiently as possible, and they may see like, oh, what's one step? That's not going to save me that much time. But when you're doing several details over the course of a day and you're like in a shop where you're turning and burning, but you're not saying low quality. I'm just saying like it's a lot of work and you got to keep that progress going. That's where Rinseless becomes an absolute godsend. It's just the most amazing thing to be able to plug into your system and go, wow, I have a whole hour in the day that I didn't have before now that I can spend on another coating or something else.
I'm telling you, here lately, I haven't washed a wheel or tire in like 2 weeks. I take a little of that super foam, Dane. Spray my iron remover on all four wheels. I take that super foam, I foam down the vehicle.
For real.
Or switch it up with a Labo Cosmetica Primus. That's another good one, but I use Superfoam this week. Rinse it all off, pull it in. You just rinseless, wipe down the wheels and the paint, and you're good to go.
Heck yeah.
No scrubbing. I'm about to throw the wheel bucket away. But also with like we said earlier, the other uses of the rinseless, like replace your glass cleaner, the clay lubricant. Oh, yeah. So many other things. Interior detailer. You don't need all that, especially in a professional shop. You can, if you master the rinseless wash, I mean, it's game over.
Yeah, I mean, think of the time you spent by not having to hunt down your other products and stuff. Even if your stuff's organized, if you already have it in your hand, think about how much quicker you could be.
Refilling bottles. You can just have a nice clean bucket of rinseless ready to go. Dump that bad boy in there. Bottles refilled. Go back to work. I mean, that's the way to go.
I remember when
if I was a shop, I would have rinseless wash and like super foam like that. Like that's all you need.
But it was such an aha moment for some people when they realized that, oh, I don't need to mix a rinseless dilution separately in a bottle. I can literally just dip my, bottle in my bucket, and it's already done the proper dilution.
Yeah,
I don't have to think about it. I don't have to do any math, nothing.
Yep. And once you, master it, like I said, I reviewed, I was doing like absolute videos. Once you like get a feel for it and you know exactly what you're doing, how, the contamination feels under clay towels and this, you can just use 256-1 to all uses. You don't have to make the specific 64-1 or 32 or 128. Like people hammered me. I used like 64-1 as the dryinate or something, and someone was like, "Isn't it supposed to be 32?" Yeah, I'm like, okay, guys. Like I use 250. Yeah, but Matt, I'm telling you, don't sleep on rinseless washing. I don't know what's going on. I'm telling you, it just takes a while to wrap your head around it. Wrap your head around it, and you're good to go.
It's where it's at. All right, so I can probably get one more question in here before we do our brief little break there.
Is it break time already?
Yeah, I know, right? Time flies. See, Jamie, this is why you're such a great, co-host here. It just flies by, right?
That's right.
So Mike Kaufman here, ordering a keg to do more rinseless moving forward. Now, I know those detail kegs are pretty popular. People love them.
Yep. I got me a keg recently, and that thing is a game changer. That thing's awesome. So, yeah, definitely get a keg. If you're a big rinseless washer, get the keg for sure.
Boom. There you go. And
you want to get real fancy, get you a tent sprayer from IK.
Oh, the IK tint sprayer is such an amazing, just, it looks cool in the shop to have that.
Yeah.
Just, it stands out. And yeah, the performance is amazing. But yeah, no, just pick your poison. If you're going to do rinseless, it's an awesome way to go, having some form of like compressed distribution for it. Super great. Love that.
Mike G knows what's
yeah.
up. Rinseless is only going to become more the norm. I think so too, Mike G.
Yes.
Like I said, I think we're hitting the more casual market now these days with detailing and stuff. So once people start playing with it and figuring out, soap might be a thing of the past, next decade.
I know, when people say wax is dead, soap's dead, all that kind of stuff, it's like, well, there's always going to be the people who enjoy the kind of old school approach, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. If it cleaned cars before, it can still clean cars now. That's not an issue.
If Instagram's still going, Foamtown USA will never die. But when it comes to, I'm not recording, Rinseless is going down.
It's the home for foam. I know. So
that's right.
on
it's
that,
the home for foam. That's right.
We will take a brief little break here, but don't worry, don't go too far. If you guys haven't already hit like on this video, please do so. And while we're on this break here, check out Jamie's channel. Go ahead and follow him. Subscribe to him. He's an excellent guy who's always putting out awesome videos, how-tos, and has a great podcast too. I mean, I might be a little biased, but I think they do a pretty good job. So from one to another, just saying. But we'll be right back after these brief messages. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Q&A Thursday right here at the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. I've got Jamie the Cleaner here in the house with me, helping out and answering all of your detailing questions. That's right. Welcome, Jamie. What is this?
Hey. TRC Q&A is the bomb.com, you know what I'm saying? It's getting spicy here on the second hour. So bring those hot questions in. We're going to be eating a Hot One style episode on the Keep It Real podcast real soon because me and Dewar lost a little challenge over there to old Eddie Cologne. He did cheat, but we'll give it to him. But it is what it is, Dane. So let's keep this party rolling.
Well, before we move on, I just want to ask, between you and Alex, who's more capable when it comes to eating spicy foods?
Look, Dane, I've already ate the bomb. It was no problem.
Okay, so I figured it was you. I figured, but I just wanted to check. Between you and a Canadian, it's not really a fair fight. But
no, it's not much. Dewar's going to be sweating on this episode, it's going to be big time trouble for Dewar. I feel bad for him, but it's going to be. I'm coming in to dominate this Hot Ones challenge. So we'll see what happens, Dane.
All right. Well, I guess you guys can look forward to that one. Not too far out. All right, so we've got lots of comments, lots of questions.
It's gonna be good. Yeah, let's pump through some questions here, Dane.
Yeah, man, you've been really helping so far, so I really appreciate the team lift we're doing here. I've got Brian saying, Jamie, you using the new DF drill brush loads or not really? He's just wondering, like, if you actually use it or if it's just like a hood ornament that sits off like a paperweight.
I used it one time, made the video, and that's about the only time I've used that thing. So
no, okay,
it's hilarious as you got to try it at least once.
It's a novelty.
It'll come in handy for cup holders, maybe. I think you kind of used the wrong bristles for that brush. I think we should have threw some maybe some boar's hair or some hybrid of the two in there. But the full soft bristles, I don't think were the way to go. That thing just fans out. And I don't know if it's even doing anything, but it's pretty fun to use.
Perhaps in the future, there's open to including different bristles or something. I do wonder though, if the boar's hair, maybe it was to try and prevent people from save them from themselves, because if you're doing the boards and this turning that fast, you could potentially burn something. Or
maybe so. I don't know. I'd like
it could be pretty aggressive.
Be a version of it. It probably could be. Yeah, you might be right.
But anyway, just food for thought.
It was a fun little, they came out trying something new, so I gave it a try. It worked.
But I mean, if you think about it, for anybody who was using one of their brushes in their drill to begin with as a method of doing that stuff because they saw, on TikTok or something like that, and they're just like, oh, that looks fun, that looks cool. And like initially they went, oh, I'll just use my brush for that. It's nice with the drill brush attachment, one, to not have to potentially put wear and tear on your existing brushes that you want to have nice for other purposes. I totally get that. To have a dedicated one, I see the point. So for those who actually feel that they use them enough, I get it. But at the same time, other bristles would definitely be a welcome addition too, I think.
Yeah. I'd like to try the boar's hair one at least once. See what's going on with it.
Could do some real damage. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Umberto here saying, Mike G, people coming more to Rinseless. I've been doing Rinseless for over 14 years. That's the thing. Rinseless is not a new technology.
He's ahead of the game over there.
It's new word compared to soap, which has been around, as Ivan used to say, in the age of washing chariots. Now you're at the point where, we need something a little more modern. Soap can still do the trick, and obviously people love it. A lot of it is just that visual, cue of, oh, this thing's all frothy, soapy, therefore I feel safe running a mitt or a towel or whatever your wash media of choice is across the surface. Whereas with Rinseless, to the untrained eye, it just looks like water, and so people are freaked out that, oh my God, I'm scratching it when I do this. When in reality, it is, if anything, it's safer than the equivalent soap wash in that respect. Yeah. But it's hard to get people over their, just built-in fear of what they see versus what's actually happening.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you just look at it, you're like the foam cannon, foam the car, come over with your wash mitt all full of suds and stuff, It just seems, like the way to go, you know what I mean? It just makes sense visually to the more casual audience that's the much safer method. You got to have 14 buckets, this kind of deal, and you're gonna have a good time. But just got to wrap your head around it. Rinseless the way to go.
It takes a minute, but once you're there, you're good. David Boyce next up here. Dave Barker has been hybrid washes with his detail cakes using fusion to foam, then followed by wipeout and his microfiber double flips. Shout out to Dave Barker. Nice. Yeah. No, definitely got a system figured out there. If it works for him, I'm sure everybody can come up with their own system that they like doing. But the point is, just use anywhere you would use soap. Just try using Rinseless instead. That's like that. That's all it is. Just do that, and you don't have to make it more complicated than that.
And that's the thing. Like I like what's cool about the hybrid wash. You make it your own. You find the method that works for you and that you're comfortable with. So. Yeah. As long as at the end of the day it speeds up and makes you more efficient, it's a win.
Yeah. If your car's clean, free of scratches, you're good to go. Or at least, maybe not free of scratches, but free of any new scratches. If it already had them, then... Luke Berge here saying, I love Rinseless, but use it rarely. Just due to how long I go between washes and wheel wells, they get so dirty. It's also way more therapeutic to soap and water wash in comparison to Rinseless. Now, I mean, the actions are still the same, but see, Luke is talking about the suds again. That's the stuff that,
Berge likes to go to Foam Town.
He likes.
I'm telling you, get some super foam, you spray it in the wheel wells. It'll clean it out pretty good.
So no, can't fault you. You enjoy it. You enjoy it.
You enjoy it, yep.
And then something about unicorns with a hint of Tinkerbell's flying dust. I think that's in reference to Rinseless again. So a lot of Rinseless talk going on here. Joshua, I must have missed something. Were you on Hot Ones?
Joshua, glad you asked. Look, we're doing this. I already made the pitches. But keep going, Dane.
No, it's all good.
I did the plugs.
Yeah. Hans, I think the new studio needs some very soft yellow shoes. So, he did gift me when I was in the Netherlands a year or two ago. He gifted me some, I believe they're called klompen. Great name for a shoe. Klompen, because you clomp around in them. They were these little Dutch shoes. Normally they'd be wooden. However, in this case, they were soft foam. They just looked like Twinkies you could stick your foot in, which now that I think about it is a horrifying concept.
We call those Crocs here, Hans.
Crocken, Klompen, something.
Crocken and Klompen.
G. Davis. Yep. Anthony, if a micro I can't even say that word. Discontinued, I'm not even going to try, is on the table as a solution for your back pain. Take it. A simple surgery and the recovery is relatively quick. This actually feels like earnest advice given by G. Davis. So,
might be. What is a mic? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what it is. If I were to look it up, I'm sure it's like on Urban Dictionary as something actually terrible and it's a made up procedure. But if he's being sincere right now, that's a rare.
He's being serious.
Oh, that's all right. See, with G, it's hard to know.
Surgery to remove part or all of a bulging or damaged herniated disc in the lower spine.
That is it.
So G. Davis says
he's got a bulging disc, so yeah.
Yep, there you go.
That's real.
Right.
That's advice.
That's solid advice from Mr. G. Davis.
Thank you, G. And next up, I got Super Auto here. How about a 3-step hybrid? High pH foam plus rinse, low pH foam plus rinse, then rinseless contact wash. I mean, we're getting advanced with it for sure. But if that's what makes you happy,
that's an advanced system right there.
If that makes you happy, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's right. No, the acid wash is definitely making a comeback. You know, a lot of vehicles you can just skip plane, good acid wash, get all that decontamination off. You have the right soap, and then you just rinseless wash the now clean surface because you high pH, you knocked off that traffic film, Dane, and then you hit it with the low pH, you knocked off the contamination. You come in with the neutralized and rinseless wash, you good to go.
No,
Al's
I hear
on the
you
right track here.
I mean, if it once again, if it makes you happy and your car's clean afterwards, did its job, who are we or anybody else to say otherwise? So
that's right.
Got Umberto here. Luke Berge, yes, rinseless on wheels and tires isn't good unless a light maintenance. Better APC and iron remover. Then at the end, rinse them with a rinseless to dry them up. That's honestly, Umberto, that's usually how we approach it. When we're using rinseless, we understand that the wheels, when it comes to brake dust or other stuff, it gets baked on there. Yeah, rinseless isn't going to be the best solution for that unless the stuff's fairly recent and it's not baked in. In a normal car's case, if it's gone a few months or something and now you're going to clean it, obviously, use whatever, you want to clean your wheels with, usually something stronger. I mean, there's lots of great options out there, but the rinseless, the whole idea is where you would use soap, you would use the rinseless. So obviously, if a soap wasn't going to cut it in this scenario, you'd do the same thing. You go with your APC or whatever. The point is, it's not the rinseless's fault. It's literally just anywhere you would have used soap, replace it with rinseless, and that's it. That's it. I think people just get way too twisted up about it.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, I'm about to throw my wheel bucket away. People sleep on how strong, iron removers actually are when it comes to cleaning wheels. You let it do its job. You gotta give it some dwell time. You gotta let it do its job, and then you come over it with a high pH solution. Touchless. A lot of vehicles, you can just spray that bad boy off. You're good to go.
It can be done. All right. Yep. Next up, we got Pedro Carrillo here saying, Pepsi will make it burn hotter. Eat bread to kill the heat. Now, eating bread, that's a good call. Normally, you think you
can't eat bread, something. Dang, we're carnivore around here, Dang. Can't eat bread. Did eat
no carbs. No starch, no carbs.
You see, got mad at me.
You know what, though? Yeah. No, could you have yogurt? Because yogurt works, too.
Have yogurt.
Yogurt will save you in a pinch. Some people do ice cream, some people do yogurt, and some people do milk. Frankly, of those three, I would probably go more towards the yogurt or the ice cream. Milk at the same time. I'm not necessarily looking to add a different flavor like that to the whole thing. But yogurt's pretty mild if you get plain or something. And you're just trying to kill the heat.
Viewer's going to need all these tips. He's the one who's going to have some problems with the challenge. He needs bread, ice cream, yogurt. He's going to need it all, Dane. So this is good tips for viewer.
Alex, I hope you're listening.
Hope so.
On that note, we've got Mike here saying, Mike Kaufman, Umberto, I agree, didn't like rinseless on the wheels at all, prefer foam for that. Now, that's interesting because once again, your foam, if it's just a normal pH neutral soap, even with the cling, it's not necessarily going to do that much more than you would be capable of doing with a rinseless. It's only because of that cling that the foam brings that you're able to let it sit longer. But if it's a very neutral soap to begin with, it's not going to be breaking down too much that rinseless couldn't do. I'm just saying on a 1-to-1 fair scale, apples to apples, you're not getting that different of an experience with one versus the other.
Same level of clean.
So it's once again, it's not Rinseless's fault. I think it's just people misunderstanding when a Rinseless, they think that, oh, instead of doing these other things, you just try Rinseless for everything, and then you're frustrated when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people like cleaning wheels. My hatred for wheel cleaning has grown and grown. So I'm definitely.
Oh, good. You and
going
Anthony
towards it.
agree very much on that point. Yeah, wheels are not a good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I've heard somebody say they enjoyed cleaning wheels before. I forget who said it, but I really did like stare at them blankly for a good 30 seconds. Like it didn't register to me that anybody could enjoy that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Especially, Anthony's back problems probably come from cleaning wheels, over the years. So.
Oh yeah, no. When somebody says to Anthony when he's
Awkward
detailing, and he deliberately skipped the wheels, and they go, "Oh hey, can you get the wheels?" He gets like flashbacks. It's bad. Oh,
I can see
sorry.
We'll see you there, Ryan.
Ryan here. Later,
Yeah,
everyone. Until the Keep It Real podcast tonight. Well, thanks for hanging out, Ryan. We appreciate you.
Yep. I will be on the Keep It Real podcast right after this podcast, so stay
Look at
tuned.
that.
And we'll keep the hot sauce tour going strong.
And EC here also, is Mata for the bucket, or can I foam cannon it? Now, I have seen Levi foam cannon Mata before, but it is more of a bucket wash. That's more the intent with it. It's not...
Yeah, Jack will tell you by snow for the foam cannon, by Mata, and bubbler for the bucket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
you can do
Mata,
you want.
Mata, as the name implies, it's not adding a lot in the way of like gloss or anything like that. It's meant to be a very kind of pure, soap experience.
It's just a pure soap. Yeah, it's not going to add any gloss. It's just going to do its thing, pH neutral, clean.
And if you ask how it smells, I would say it smells classy.
Yeah.
Very classy. Then I got Pedro Carrillo here saying GN Evo line works great out in the sun. So recommendation there for GN Evo when working in the sun. Followed by Hans trying to give me a heart attack by yelling Abend.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. And then Umberto, if anyone wants to do a question in Spanish, I can help translate to English. That would be helpful, Umberto, just in case there's anyone who's, watching along and wants to throw it out there. I'm more than happy to take that on. If you want to help, Umberto, that'd be appreciated. Lucas Blaine from customer service. Hello, all.
Lucas Blaine.
Yes, our very own Lucas, who does a fantastic job in customer service. He's been a bit slammed this week because Aaron is out on a vacation, and everybody deserves their vacation, so they got to do that. But it does make life a little harder when all of a sudden everything gets pointed at you instead. So Lucas is feeling that. But
shout out to Lucas.
Shout out to Lucas. So he had his vacation a couple weeks ago, so he got to do that already. Hello all. Just wanted to pop in. Yes. So he's been charged up, ready for the week. Just wanted to pop in real quick. Anyone that has sent in an email to support, I promise it is not being ignored. I'm getting through as many as fast as I possibly can. And if I heard correctly, he had many to follow up on. And sometimes it's just a simple little yes or no question, and people just wanted to ask, and that's okay. But the numbers add up. I mean, when you're dealing with tens of thousands of folks on different levels of orders and things.
After a sale, y'all just had the big Memorial Day sale.
So it definitely
stickers. Where's my sticker?
It gets
what this didn't come. I shout out to Lucas.
Yeah, but shout out Lucas because he's doing Lord's work here, so we appreciate you.
Yeah, I don't envy customer service. No, not.
And I will say, technically, the original reason I developed Q&A was to be a form of customer service.
Oh,
where
right.
we kind of bring it to be customer service on our terms, where it's like, oh, you come in here and you can ask all the questions you like in this. Frankly, 2 hours is more than I think virtually any other detailing channel will give an audience for answering questions, and we do it every freaking week. So I definitely want to try and make it a point to help as many people as possible, but yeah, I understand it's at a time of day that works for some people, doesn't work for others, and if it doesn't, well, you got Lucas there, and he'll follow up with you as soon as he can.
That's right.
All right, next up, I got Joey. Holy smokes, I'm late.
Walensky.
Joey.
Look.
Oh,
buddy. If would show up more to stuff, I would shout him out for his podcast, but
Ouch. Well, don't worry, you'll see him later.
Yep, sure will.
Pedro here. Use Jamie 10 to save you some change on the Hot Ones Heat Challenge.
That's right. Hey,
Oh,
Hot
buddy.
Ones better recognize and throw a promo code or something.
Then I've got the details of me. Better late than never.
Christmas
Happy to
Eve.
have you here. And on the bus coming home from my daughter's field trip. Chaperone duty in San Francisco.
Always
This is
fun.
a perfect thing to drown out 50 fifth graders on a bus. Man, watching a detailing podcast while you're surrounded by screaming children. I mean, that's one way to go. On a bus where, if I recall all my experiences growing up, like riding a school bus, they had a suspension, kind of, but really you just got launched out of your seat on every bump.
Oh, yeah.
So good luck
Yeah,
holding
no.
that phone.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Happy to have you here.
Don't miss the bus rides.
Yeah. Dino here. So if anybody wants to ask a question in another language, I think we have everything covered. English, Spanish,
Dang.
I can do German, Slovenian, Balkan, Bosnian, Serbian, Croatian. I've got you guys covered. Dino, a
There you
big
go.
help as always. Really appreciate that. Once again,
Yeah.
if somebody is just less confident speaking English to ask their question and these guys can translate it for you, that's awesome. We'd love that. Perhaps because I know there's a lot of folks who maybe can understand listening to another language better than they can be comfortable speaking it. And that's perfectly normal. So yeah, no, by all means, we want to make sure and include you. So
Yep.
Alex here, that gosh darn iPad nightmare. Alex, I'm strongly considering this is once again super inside baseball, but I'm strongly considering sending like an email to tech support at the company that makes this vMix program and just being like, hey,
Yeah.
could you guys in your vMix social software, the thing that lets me pump these questions out, could you just like change the color of the button tab, like the number page I'm on, so I know where I am instead of me hunting around and looking at like the timestamps on them to figure out where I am in the queue? It's crazy, but very simple thing to fix, I would think. User,
Yeah, do you were
graphic
wrestling
user
that thing
interface.
live on the middle of a TRCMA halftime show is always a good time.
And Mike here saying he's scared for you, aka the details of me riding on the bus with all those kids. I mean, that's
Yes,
just the
yeah.
way it goes. Then we got Jay Hall. Enjoyed the rinseless discussion in the previous Q&A. Will the other rinseless options work in steam appliances like mops, steam cleaners, as well as ONR? I mean, ONR, the reason we tend to recommend that one is just because that one was always considered like the safest one to do it with. There's some others out there that may be slightly different chemically, and I can't vouch for all of them. But at the same time, like Jamie, in your experience, you probably tried it with some others.
Yeah, I think as long as it's like kind of a polymer rinseless wash, like the ones y'all carry, all have kind of that polymer technology in them. RW weighs a little bit more on the surfactant side, but I think all of them should work appropriately in any appliance you put it in.
Yeah, and I mean, just normal precautions. If you're not sure about a chemical, then maybe you shouldn't be atomizing it and putting it in the air around you, or you wear a good mask to filter that kind of stuff out. All things to take into consideration for your specific situation, but I just know from experience that O&R has been virtually harmless when it comes to any kind of like negative side effects of becoming like airborne particles and stuff. It's not still water. It does change the chemical makeup of the product in the water, but it's still going to be safer than like, some of these other nasty chemicals that detailers are working with and spraying on the regular.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you steam
Yeah.
it. That's when you're supercharging that stuff.
Yeah, the most important part of the steam cleaner is definitely getting you some good old Target distilled water. You got to have that good Target water. You're gonna really mess that thing up real quick.
Once again, don't drink distilled water.
Don't drink the distilled water. It ain't for drinking. It's for steam cleaners. It's for mixing chemicals. That kind of deal. IK sprayers keeps them running longer. That kind of deal.
Yeah.
All the
And
good
then
stuff.
next up here, we got Jay's Car Channel. Happy Friday,
Hey-o.
fellas. Welcome, Jays. Shout out from another one, Jamie, to another Jamie. Also, how's
That's right.
Ant Dog? Well, we did cover Anthony's situation. He's not doing so hot, but he is in the comments today. So you may see him pop up again. We'll just have to see.
Look, he's getting a shot ski. G. Davis recommended, cutting a little something out of there. We got the inversion table. We're on the right track. we're on the right track for sure.
If you don't have the disc, it can't bulge anymore. That's what I hear.
right. It can't bulge if it's cut out of there.
It can't bulge if it's not there. Pretty sure G.
there.
Davis would say something about that.
Yep,
Josh,
yep.
which coating would Jamie recommend for a first timer? Oh, always a great question.
No, you can't go wrong with like EXO. The G Technic coatings were my first coatings that I jumped into, and they're still pretty much, great place to start. PNS Soul, like the easiest coating ever. Just coatings like that. EXO V5, I used it a couple months ago on a vehicle, and it was just such a dream. Real slick, real smooth, really nice coating. So one of those, you can't go wrong at the Rag Company. You can't really mess up with any of them on the Rag Company's website, but take your pick.
We try and make it as user-friendly as possible. But if you've got questions, I'm glad you're here asking these things. And I'll throw one more out there. Optimum Gloss Coat is an old one, but a great one. And I say old, but actually the formula has been updated more recently in time. But it's one of those ones that you see back in our old videos we used a lot because it was one of those earlier ones that was more user-friendly, because a lot of the stuff out there, it was like working with honey or syrup, and it really felt like you were fighting a coating to get it on the surface, whereas Gloss Coat and now Soul and these other ones like you're talking about, they're just way better at laying out and giving you the space to breathe, be able to actually apply. And the flash time's friendlier. There's good ones to be found, but if we carry them and we say that they're more user friendly,
when to wipe off,
if we say they're more user friendly, that's because they are. If something is a little more challenging, I believe we'll point that out so that you're not stepping into the wrong space.
I probably wouldn't start off with Legend.
No, Legend probably not like a first timer's coating. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say necessarily.
Yeah.
But that's definitely one I would save for like a few coatings down the road. Once you got the hang of flash times, that kind of stuff. Once you figured that out, it's a good way to go. But give it some time. Next up, I got Luke here. FTW is the best glass towel, hands down. It is a fantastic glass towel. It's a fantastic everything towel.
Yeah, that's right. FTW is where it's at. But we all know the glass smitten needs to make a comeback. That's what I'm saying. So
well, a smitten with FTW material would be a killer.
Now we're talking, Dane.
Yeah, I think that's definitely that's on the short list. Gary, Jamie, do you keep any wheel acid around for real stubborn ones like water spots? If so, what is it? So we have that famous video. It's the video with the most views on our channel when Anthony used wheel acid to get water spots off of a car. And naturally, everybody wants like the most dangerous chemical. That's what they want.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if you recommend it, then at some part of you feel liable for whatever happens to them. So you got to be real careful because, frankly, there's lots of wonderful, smart people out there, but there's also people who just... they'll find all kinds of creative ways to accidentally hurt themselves, and they swore they weren't going to do it, but it happens anyway. And then who do they blame? The place they saw the video.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, no, if you got some real bad rims come in, wheel acid's definitely the way to go, but I don't keep it around. I'm a garage-based, home-based studio, so I just don't want that powerful of a chemical just sitting around in bulk.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll pull out like a strong water spot remover, team it up with like the quadruple aught steel wool. That takes care of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's fair. And I'll say, based on my own experience, having gone to a lot of different shops around, some of the like higher turnover shops, the ones that are really cranking through a lot of stuff, they may have like a gallon or gallons of like, specifically acid for those purposes.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still something they don't use on every car. It's reserved for like the truly nasty cases you default to. There's a lot of chemicals you can use that are less dangerous, have less potential like long-term health ramifications. You can get the job done. There are other ways. But like, if you got to do it, then I understand. But it really should be more of a last resort than anything else. For your sake. Not just because we're all weaklings and we say like, oh, be safe. It's like, no, actually, this can really mess you up. So And you may not even notice. Like some of the acids out there, depending on the kind it is, go right through your skin. You don't even feel it. You don't even notice it, but it immediately starts eating away the calcium in your bones. Gone. So then next thing you know, you're a wacky waving inflatable arm man because you have no bones left.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a ridiculous point, but it could happen.
Learn to read the SDS and, PP up when you mess with stuff like that for sure.
All right. Jay's Car Channel. Boom. Here we go. Agreed, Great Dane. FTW is a great tell. I agree. Not just because it was my opinion, but because it's also true. Yeah. Let's see. We've got Hans here. Get Smitten's back.
There we go, Hans.
Yep.
There we go.
Hans
now we got the train going.
Hans supports your campaign.
Yep.
So we got that going.
Look, the drying smitten it can stay dead. We need the glass smitten though.
I mean, drying towels, drying smitten. Really, when we have smaller drying towels, you can do kind of the same thing you would with the drying smitten. It's just a matter of having a mitt versus a towel. Like you're good there, but when it comes to some of those other uses, like the glass and stuff, like the smitten's where it's at. I totally agree.
Oh, dude,
I miss it.
So good
for sure. So we've got Kevin here. Check it out.
Use every Jamie shows his favorite ways to use every single microfiber TRC cells.
You're gonna be there for a while. Right?
Yeah. I'll think about it, Kevin.
I remember when we did like the walkthroughs on our channel. If you go back, I don't know, a few years, we had Pan the Organizer here. We've had Matt Mormon here from Assess Garage, and like when Pan showed up, he wanted to do like every single towel, and then we kind of had to go, well, that's frankly going to be a little tough. That's a little ridiculous. But if we can narrow it down to some stuff that like you're interested in, then we can kind of do best in given categories, that kind of stuff. Because part of the reason people do get hung up on this, where they go, why do you have so many towels? It's like these companies, these chemical companies who make like 1 million different soaps. They're all soaps. They all do the same thing. Why do you have that many different ones? Is it just because you have to pretend something's new and introduce a new thing every week to keep people interested in your company or your products? And I know there's companies out there that work that way. Certainly, social media and everything hasn't really helped people on that front, where everything that was new 5 seconds ago is now old news, and the new thing's out, and I got to be interested in that and just keep the train rolling. But the reason we introduce new products is usually because there's enough of an interest in, like, we like this thing that you already have. We really do like it, but we just wish it was this slightly different size or different kind of pile length, or like minutia, smaller stuff. Like they're tweaks that make a difference to those people, but they're not necessarily interested in the next towel you already have available. They're looking for like an in-betweener. And then what do you do at that point? Well, if enough people say that, it seems like it's a niche worth filling, then you produce a towel that satisfies that need. And that is how you wind up with over 150, 200, 300 plus microfiber items. And they're not all going to be the fastest sellers, because sometimes it is just a niche, and you find out through time, say like your, Smittens, that kind of thing, they maybe weren't the hottest sellers, but the people who did like them loved them, and you just need to find a better, more efficient way of getting back to that. So that's how you wind up with so many products, at least as far as we're concerned. That's the reason. But that
makes sense.
Throwing it out there. How did I wind up here? Oh, the pages. They're fighting me again.
What's the problem?
Yeah,
you don't have to write an angry customer service email to this place. Get them straightened out, Dane.
You know how it works. G. Davis.
Yeah.
Dane sent the remaining inventory of thigh smittens to the Silver Creek Spa. Oh no.
Yep.
We got a lot of love for the smittens here. What's your favorite discontinued TRC microfiber? I mean, I definitely have a few that I thought were a great concept, but just weren't quite ready for prime time. Jamie, what's for you? I think it might be the smitten right now, but it's not discontinued forever. Definitely. It's just for right now.
Yeah, that's definitely number one, the smittens. Just discontinued a great drying towel, the Twist and Shout. That was a great OG drying towel.
Yeah.
That one will be missed for sure. But for sure. What else has been discontinued, Dane?
I had some fun ones back in the day that I think people today now would actually appreciate more than they did back in the day.
I have a couple really wizards, the orange one with the white. I have a couple of those. That's pretty fun towel.
And the wizards, I mean, really, when you go back, the wizards are more or less what the Eagle 350s wound up becoming. So the Eagle 350s really give you that wizard experience just without the border on it. And people tend to prefer an edgeless towel, so that works. And that's kind of where that ended up going. But I'm thinking back
I think it was like a silk border too, so it was not good. Yeah. So it needed to go. It's a fun little...
It was fine, but it wasn't like it wasn't doing anything extra. It wasn't like it was absorbing anything on that border or anything. It was just decorative at most at that
silk
point.
Border
Wasn't going to damage, but it was just decorative. But outside of that, I had like the split purplenality. I was always a big fan of that towel, or the Night Rider, some of the earlier ones. And yeah, I might be partial because like I was coming up with the names for some of those, especially the clunky one like split purplenality. I was like the only one who enjoyed that. Everyone else is just like everybody who tried to say it to me over the phone when they were ordering, you know, and I was the guy who answered the phone and it started filling it out. They're like, I want some of that split pupil natty. You're just like, okay, that's not working.
What was that one? What was that? Was that a dry towel or something? What was that?
No. So actually, thinking more in terms of like a 380 GSM dual pile, but Korean made, with it had a border on it. It was a silk border or satin border. However, it was a really, really good, high quality South Korean made yarn and everything on that. But it was long pile on one side, shorter on the other. So somewhere between a 365 and a creature.
Oh, that's funny.
But instead of being Chinese, it was Korean. Now, granted, even our towels that are put together in China, they use Korean yarn. So that's always been a big thing for us, is that really high quality Korean yarn. Anywhere we can get that, that's going to be the stuff we want. So that tends to make for a better towel in the end. But as far as like long lost towels go, I definitely think that one's up there. I really, really did love those ones. And eventually 365, 420s creatures, you know, come along. They satisfy those needs now. People are mostly happy with those. They don't need to do that. If they want something close, they can get like a Spectrum 420, which is going to be a higher GSM, but still in like the ballpark. But that's kind of close to the experience. I do think though, like the purplenalities, they just felt that little bit softer. They felt more like Wolfpack towels to the touch. But they were not fleece though. They were like a circular knit weave crossed with like a dual pile closed loop construction. So it was a strange thing, but it was very cool. And other than that, we had a really
microfiber towel talk on this episode, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm giving you. Here's another one I think people forgot about: the chameleon. The chameleon was literally just this was back during the wars of like who had the biggest beefiest towel, and the chameleon was an 840 GSM. It was literally like back to back. You imagine like creatures and you put them together and then you do different colors, one on each side, and it becomes this just monstrous towel. And that was a chameleon, because it was fun, multicolored, and people liked that. But anyway, I'm going off on tangents. You can always look back in our old posts on Facebook for like the old towels. There's some funny stuff there. Moving along.
This is a fair point. If you got a towel you like a lot, you better talk about it, because if it's on the bottom end, like my eaglets were, I had to do a whole Save the Eaglet campaign to get the sales going, so they don't get rid of my eaglets. So you gotta.
We love the eaglets too. We don't want them to go away, but it's just like, you know, if the interest is only kind of there, it's hard to maintain that space on the shelf where something else that does sell could be. And at the end of the day, you know, I'm fighting up against, you know, numbers and stuff as much as like the heart wants something. The head also has to determine like what's
numbers got to match
the time. But it's okay. I'm almost always siding with my heart anyway.
Is this a super chat?
Yes, it is. I got to clap for it. I'm going to put down the pad. All right.
Let's go. Jay Smart Channel 999.
Nearly lost that down the chair there.
Appreciate it.
Jay saying, shout out to Dane and Jamie today. Thanks for the great show, fellas. Thank you, Jay. Without you guys watching, I mean, this wouldn't be a show. You guys put out the questions that make this a program worth watching. So thank you again. But we do our best to carry it. I think, Jamie, you're kicking butt today. I appreciate it. And all goes well.
I'm just happy to be here.
Hey, look at this. I got Neil White here. Been a minute.
Neil White.
TRC. Any plans on selling more Autofiber products? The only product by Autofiber on the TRC website is the puck applicator that I can see. Yes. So that is one where it was like a joint project, and we're always looking at potential new things we might do with them. So, I mean, never say never. It's always possible we could collaborate on another thing. But then again,
that would be
if we are working on any more collaborations, I can't talk about them right now, but, you know, there's just always stuff in the works. Just saying.
Never know what'll happen.
Yeah. Could be kind of cool. But, that saver technology that goes into those to help, divide the coating and stuff like that from traveling through and going to the other side. It's a great move. And, Ian over at Autofiber knows what he's doing. And they really are innovative. And we really appreciate that. And as I said before, like, innovative doesn't automatically equal, it can be good. People can innovate in terrible ways. But I will say, in Ian's case, he innovates in positive, helpful, constructive ways. So shout out them.
Yeah, Autofiber is a big one that like has so many products. Like I will discover something new every time. Like I'm looking around kind of their website and stuff.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to go into crazy niche territory with some of the products. So
they
that's
get
cool.
super niche with stuff, and you're like, "What was this for?" And I'm like, "I'll try it out."
Somebody had a very specific problem they were trying to solve. That's almost always the answer, and they gave it a shot.
Autofiber biscuits for the biscuit. They do some cool stuff.
Then I got Dino here. I think someone want one in all-in-one towel. FTW is the go.
Absolutely.
Yes. No, like if you had to get one towel that, understanding they're not the cheapest towels. I've said before, they're like one of the most, per unit, one of the more expensive towels to produce for us, just because of the way it's made. But it's so worth it. It just is. They're so good at virtually everything.
So absorbent, so soft. They're great.
Yeah. And somehow I am like 6 pages behind. We've been having these great conversations. But
Dane, you better get to
That's my problem. Like you and I, like we'll stream and stuff. I go on for hours on this stuff, and it's just kind of the way it goes. I haven't done it in a minute, but old habits die hard. So getting old hurts more. Yeah, hear that.
Definitely.
Q&A Thursday, let the good times roll, says Josh McKay.
Let the good times roll.
And then I've got Umberto. I've used Magic Mender for leather repair too. I haven't heard of that one, but if it works, it works.
Nope.
And Umberto tends to be pretty good on this stuff, so I would trust him if he has an opinion about something. Then we've got Hans here. David Boyce, look up Color Locker Leather Repair Company. I'm Leather Repair Company.
We gotta speed up, Dane.
Technician.
We're way back in the leather talk conversation.
So far behind. It's crazy. Man. Holy cow. Sorry, I hit the mic there. For All Day Anthony, the way back pain works is starts in one place and then travels around the back because you're overcompensating in other areas, and then it will be gone one day. Well, that's what Anthony hopes for. He just wants it to disappear at some point. Dane looking hella comfy. Agree, Rowland.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate that.
Nice and cozy. And then
these chairs are great. They're like curl up and read a book type thing, which is why I end up going on these tangents and just talking about everything, and these comments are way behind. Jamie's right. Yoga, once you feel better, will really help. Agreed. Man, we really are behind.
Oh, yeah. We gotta go.
Thank you, Closing, the chosen one. I've been sitting on the edge since 2010. That wide angle hits different.
Oh, Lord.
Man. Classic from the way stuff.
He's getting so much.
Also the motto of Joey Belinsky's Ventriloquism Training Academy.
Definitely.
Oh,
Shout
boy.
out to Joey Belinsky and his podcast.
And now Hans bringing up Tai Chi. Yoga or Tai Chi will help you flexible. I do Tai Chi every week, and when my body hurts, I do it at home. All right, well, certainly
I've never tried the
advice.
Tai Chi. I might have to look into it, Hans.
Good advice there. And then we got G. Davis. A friend mentioned that he saw Jamie's billboard ad endorsing a local vasectomy doctor while driving through Shreveport recently. Very helpful.
That's right. Yep.
And here, I'm gonna scroll through some of these. I'm sorry, I'm gonna skip some ones so I can get to some questions. So let me go ahead.
Let's find some good questions
here.
That's a good idea.
Now, rolling with an idea here. Is there any chance you guys could stretch this Q&A out to like 8 hours long so I could survive my night shift? He knows I have streamed for like 7 or 8 hours before. It is possible. It's brutal, but it is possible. But it's not happening today.
Maybe one day.
It's not happening today. Owen,
I got
thanks
other
for all the
podcasts.
great info and wishing Anthony a speedy recovery. Owen from Atlanta. Owen, you have been extremely helpful to Anthony, and I just want to say from all of us here, thank you so much for all of your excellent advice. For those who don't know, Owen knows a thing or two when it comes to nerves and back pain and all that kind of stuff. So
Oh,
he's been
really?
extremely helpful.
Nice.
Yeah, no,
Oops.
Owen's the GOAT. We got G Davis here. I enjoy when Dane mentions something being inside baseball, then discusses something totally unrelated to baseball.
It's a baseball.
Turn a phrase, buddy. Turn a phrase. Oh boy, Joey Belinsky. I just want to beat the people I'm gonna go against. Oh boy, we are
Oh
all over
yeah!
the place.
Shout out to newest Grambassador is EC Details. That's what he's
Yes.
talking about. He's trying to get in the game. He's not very good at reels, but you know what? He's working on it, and he's
Yeah.
getting a lot better. So I'm looking forward to. I'm glad he's testing himself. You know, jumping in something like the Grambassador program
Yeah.
will improve your social media game for sure. So I'm looking
Well,
to
I
see
just
where it
about
comes out in the end.
died when Anthony told me that Anthony sent me a message last week or a couple weeks ago or something. It's just like, yeah, so Eddie just received all his stuff and he's giving it all away.
Giving it away.
And he's just like, you're supposed to use some of it.
Oh, that's funny.
So that was pretty
That's
funny.
what he did. He
I was
didn't
like,
actually give
uh-oh.
it away though. He actually just bought people what was in the box and sent it to
Yeah,
them. So
yeah.
that's cool. He actually did keep the box.
Well, that's good. So Chris M here with a not unreasonable fear. I'm still afraid of Rinseless with my black GM paint. So if something hurts your black GM paint, and many things can, the Rinseless isn't necessarily going to be the one to blame. I would say whatever your wash media you're using with that Rinseless is going to be a more likely culprit. The amount of pressure you're using, those kinds of things. Jamie, am I on the right track here? I would say probably the case. The Rinseless, left to its own devices and you not using too much pressure, should be okay.
May the force be with you, Chris. May the
Yeah,
force be with
best of luck. Now, I am going to skip ahead here because I'm at 53, so I got 7 minutes left. Let's go. Boom. 5. Look through these. Here we go. Esteenbach 1. Any recommendation or recommended dilutions for RRW outside of the 256-1 for interiors and 128-1 for exteriors? Because you did mention earlier about 256-1 and just call it a day for most things.
you. Just call it a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the exterior 128. Do they recommend diluting it stronger for exterior? I don't know. I'll just run a 256. I ain't had no problems.
Okay. Well, let's see. Go ahead and keep looking up that one, and I'll get Frost here.
Yeah, it says
Jamie.
dilution ratio 256-1. Just 256-1 to everything. You got this.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Don't
good on that
overcomplicate the situation. Yeah. What we got
Fair.
here? Frosty here. Jamie, you need some technical advice. Dust control with Clean Maker in the 102-degree Phoenix today. So are you having dust with Clean Maker? It should help you out there. But I've had people reach out and tell me they've actually just increased the dilution of Dream Maker in the mix. And that's what
Okay.
helped them out. So
That
just
makes the most
more Dream
sense.
Maker.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Owen here, response to color log. I'm total newbie DIYer and had incredible results with leather restoration. Anyone can do it. Super satisfying.
Hey.
Thank you for
Nice.
throwing that out there, Owen. That's a big deal. It's not something a lot of people feel comfortable with if they've never done it before, but the tools that Color Lock provides really do make it as friendly as possible for that kind of thing. So yeah, big shout out on that front if you got to do some leather repair. Got Chris. Eddie, I have some O&R for door jams. When I get over my fear, I'll order up a bottle of RRW or Hero. Maybe I'll try to win one fair and square on the live show.
There you go. Tune in.
Nice.
You know, Eddie's always
There you
throwing
go.
out Rinseless washes.
And David X, want to rinseless wash my car, but it has been nonstop raining every day in North Texas. Sigh.
Yeah. Like Dane asked me to do this Q&A, and I was like, Dane, it's raining every single day this week. I'll do whatever you want. I'll be
Perfect for me, terrible for you.
terrible for me. Yeah.
Bad for
Terrible.
business. Aaron Top
Yep.
10 Bauer, they need to speed round this Q&A or else it'll spill
Yeah,
over
we-
to keep it real. You're
we're
right.
gonna roll
I
into
got
the next
4
podcast.
minutes. I got 4 minutes, so I'm just going to be cruising now. Got my order from Memorial Day yesterday. Got 5 coatings and sold coating jobs to use all of them.
Hey.
Already super pumped. Casper, that's awesome.
There you go. That's what you do. Yep. You
Yes.
catch them on sale, make a little money. Yep.
That's how you do it.
Casper's got it made. Yep.
And Umberto has some advice. If you have a garage, use a sprayer to spray the vehicle at 256-1. Then use sponge either from DIY Detail or the Ultra Black Sponge or Ultra Soft Sponge. Really easy and lots video. Okay.
Yep. And if you want to see the comparison between the UBS and the USS sponge, go over to my YouTube channel. I got a whole review on it. That's what Dane used as the thumbnail.
That's right. And Rick Smith here, Jamie, that drill brush works pretty good at cleaning vents. Actually, that's a pretty good use for it. I could see that. With those softer bristles, that makes a lot of sense. Because usually it's just like dust and stuff in there.
Yep. I just spray interior cleaner and Tornado or Ultra Air Blaster, them suckers.
Then I've got Jay's Car Channel. I agree with the use of Rinseless. I use it as a pre-treat on a standard soap 2 bucket. Do an actual rinseless wash, bucket wash, glass, door jams, drying aid, clay lube, engine bay, no limit to the uses. Yeah, I mean, you can go to town.
There you go.
Okay, a lot of well wishes to Anthony. Sorry, guys, I normally don't skip questions, but we just had so many today. I really appreciate it. Car Wash Channel. Does Rag Company sell ceramic coating? There's not a Rag Company branded ceramic coating, but if we carry it, it's because we vouch for it. So obviously we've got everything from G-Technic to, we've got Diamond Protect coatings. We have Optimum offerings. There's a lot of stuff out there. But if you're interested in something specific or you have a particular purpose you're trying to use it for, reach out to our customer service and they get you with the specifics.
Yep.
All right. Then I got
Anna
Anna
all
here.
Kind of good coatings.
Yeah, absolutely. I wash my car when I want to relax and release some frustrations. Wheels are my favorite. Anna, what's wrong with you? Wheels are your favorite.
Anna's in a different league over there. Whew.
Wow. Okay. No, Anna, you're built differently. Like, that's a compliment because people, you're the only person in recent memory who said they like wheels. I know I've heard someone else say it, but I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I'm about to throw the whole bucket away.
Holy cow, Franco. Shout out the Wheel Squad. We got to get matching tattoos. Franco, you too? Holy cow, what's in the water today? They've been drinking that Target water. That's what's going on. It's affecting their brains. Details to me, I'm always down for another tattoo. Awesome. Let's see. Now we got to go up. David Boyce, Car Wash Channel. Yes, I believe it's Diamond Body. Okay, so as far as that goes, Diamond Protect. That's the coating brand that, among others, that we carry. But we carry a number of different coatings. So if you're looking for something specific, once again, user-friendly or more professional, we got you covered on all those bases. Then we got Eddie Cologne here. Dane, what are you using to wash your car? You go to chemical washing, interior wheels. Man, I go through a tunnel car wash, and then I just try and trick these guys into detailing my cars every once in a while for a video. That's the extent of my detailing experiences most of the time. However, there have been many times when I got to wash my own car, and I just accept that. Mm-hmm. You know what I do? I rinseless wash it because I don't let my cars get that dirty in the first place. I just don't.
There you go.
So that's that. And I think that might actually be a good one to end on. I apologize to everybody who I didn't get to here, but I want to make sure that Jamie's able to get where he needs to go. So thank you so much, and thank you, Eddie, for that last question there. But it's been a fun one. It's been real, you could say.
Oh, it was a blast. Yep.
Flew by. So anyway, Jamie, where can folks find you? What's up in Jamie's world? Let's hear it.
Yep, well, this Friday we'll have our cleaner cast. It's every Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. CT. We go live with some of the best, auto detailing industry companies in the world. Sometimes we have just, auto detailers from the YouTube space or wherever. And usually I'm joined by the Canadian cohort, Mr. Alex Dewar, who is traveling the world right now on the Canadian World Tour. And friend of our podcast, Keep It Real Podcast, we're going to be on their podcast soon, doing the Hot Ones Challenge. Tune in. It's going to be a fun time. And besides that, I will also be on the Keep It Real podcast this evening with Joey Belinsky. So it's going to be a good time, Dane. That's all I got. Jamie the Cleaner, everything. That's all I got.
All right. Thanks so much, Jamie. Really appreciate you being here, and have yourself a good one. Really, really do value your input here. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you for that.
Hey, I appreciate TRC, and I appreciate everybody tuning in and watching this good show. Studio's looking great, so I'm looking forward to further episodes, all that good stuff that TRC has to offer.
Absolutely. We do have a new main show, new setup coming, and that'll be arriving in the not too distant future. I'm hoping to have the first episode out kind of early next month.
Heck yeah.
We'll be kind of workshopping that. So look forward to that. Jamie, have yourself a good one. And for those of you who are still watching here, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. Make sure you're subscribed to the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel, as well as our other YouTube channels. We really appreciate it, and it just helps us, build this thing. This wonderful thing that you guys get to hop in on every week and say hey at. So we appreciate you. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week. Adios.
See ya. Bye, everybody.